A very good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, and a very happy New Year. I'm here today to tell you about a particular person. A person I've known all my life. This person's name is Rohit Koka. Now, why this person, we will come to know at the end of my speech. But I chose this person because there is something about him that just can't be described. You can say he's inscrutable. Now, it's impossible to try and sum up everything about this guy, or actually in that case anybody. But I feel a few instances of nostalgia will aid in how you view this individual. So, the first instance I'd like to mention took place nearly 15 years ago in Bangalore, where Rohit was just 6 or 7 years old. He was playing a game called Superman with his neighbor on the 3rd floor. Superman, yeah, we've all been there. Now, the game goes like this. Each person grabs the other one's legs, and while the other one hangs over the balcony bar. Kids just do the craziest of things. So, Rohit's turn came. Sunny, the neighbor, lifted him up, and what do you know? Rohit is Superman. Here's the catch. At some point of time, Sunny was not able to sustain his grip on Rohit. Even though Rohit was one skinny kid. Either that or that kid really thought Rohit was Superman. Because after a few seconds, Sunny let go. Now Rohit, aka Superman, is plummeting down 3 floors headfirst to the ground. If you ever wanted to hear Superman scream like a little baby, ladies and gentlemen, that was the time. But luckily, Rohit screamed like a little baby. Luckily, there was a man guarding on the ground. Luckily, he heard his little baby scream. Luckily, looked up in just a nick of time, and luckily caught our common hero just as his head bumped the ground. Now, why did I use this word luckily so much? It's only to stress to you, ladies and gentlemen, how lucky this guy was and is to this day. Which brings me to the first thing you need to know about Rohit is that he is one lucky guy. And also a little crazy and a little too trusting if you ask me. Now, the second instance I like to take takes us 12 years from that day to a small city in Mysore, where a young undergrad just got himself admitted into St. Philomena's College. Our little Superman is grown up and is taking part in the annual fest main event, Mr. Philomena. Sadly, I regret to inform you all that he didn't even get squat that year. Nonetheless, undeterred, he was back after a year to take part in it once again. This time, better prepared, learning from all his mistakes. He did every round with grace and finesse, and even got the whole audience roaring in cheers of support. When the moment of truth came, and the judges were about to announce the name, everybody could hear in the background the echo. Let's go. Rohit! Rohit! The moment of truth is here. When the judges were finally announcing the name, they called it wasn't Rohit, but somebody else was closer to the judges. Rohit felt betrayed, but accepted the decision with grief. The final year to upon. Once again, the coveted title was within his reach, although the past experiences haunted him. It did not lower his confidence. He buttoned up everything, fine-tuned every detail, and was ready for round 3. Throughout the event, all eyes were on him, eagerly waiting for yet another spectacular performance by this veteran. And let me tell you, he delivered. Once again, the crowd roared in cheers of support for Rohit as the judges opened the envelope. And just as they were about to announce the name, Rohit felt his heart skip a beat. The moment of truth is here. Rohit, the name was called, and the coveted title of Mr. Philomena was finally his. After 3 years and 3 attempts, he finally got what he wanted. This, ladies and gentlemen, shows how determined he was towards his target, how he persevered even when things fell apart, and how he tried and tried until he succeeded. Now, this takes me to the final instance I'd like to tell about Rohit. This happened sometime 6 months ago, in one cloudy evening, when Rohit came out of his front yard to play with his 2 lovely dogs. He noticed his mother and sister stand and look into an unoccupied plot in their home in Shaktinagar. Upon closer observation, he saw a frail-looking puppy wander in a plight to search for food. He realized that this was the last remaining puppy of a street dog that littered quite recently, and that all the other pups were either killed by children, stray dogs, or starved to death. One such puppy's body was just 50 meters from his house. And this wandering puppy was eating its own brother or sister's remains in order to sustain its own life. horrific sight. Without a second thought, Rohit rushed in, took a bag of biscuits and bun and went after the dog. He tried to lure it to eat, but the dog was too scared as it was ill-treated by everybody else. But he tried, and finally, he left a couple of biscuits and he walked away, hoping that the dog would get comfortable. But just as the dog was getting comfortable, a sudden downpour of rain fell upon them, and the dog immediately ran for shelter. Rohit followed. He found an opening near the bush where the dog hid, left a few crumbs, and tried once again to lure the dog to eat. Finally, the dog came and ate. All this took place over an hour and a half in heavy and mild rainfall. Some neighbors who witnessed it felt it was absurd to do something like this for a street dog that was nearly dead, but not Rohit. He wanted to do a good deed. He wanted to make sure that this dog was taken care of. And like all good deeds, ladies and gentlemen, it never went undone. This came to light 3 months later when he was walking his dog. He saw a couple of dogs playing in the distance, and upon a closer look, noticed and realized it was the same dog that he fed that day. A little bigger, a little healthier. That moment he experienced something that nobody can describe, only he knows. But it's more wonderful than any time you hear a God for the effort he put that rainy day. Finally, we see a compassionate and empathetic side to Rohit, a person who will do the right thing no matter what, a person who will go to any extent to help. Ladies and gentlemen, I've shared with you these things about Rohit so that you can get a better insight into who he really is. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. As you remember in the beginning of my speech, I said I chose Rohit because there is something about him that can't be described. Well, I've told you some things about him, and I know each and every one of you has some sort of idea as to who he is. But as you go on and as you know him, you will see that idea will change to a point where you can't describe him at all. He becomes inscrutable for all of you. With that, I would like to end my speech by saying, if you see Rohit, you know nothing about him. If you are with Rohit, you know something about him. But only if you know Rohit, you know everything about him. Thank you one and all for listening to me.